The hell? Hey, what's up, Rob? Good morning, everybody. Apparently, all of my watch lists are gone. My actionable list no longer exists. I still don't have a good grasp on exactly how this platform works. What's up, Paul? What's up, Eli? Great. See how old some of these are? Or some of these watch lists are? Look at this one. NA, NA, NA. These don't exist anymore. That's funny. Well, shit. Well, don't quite understand what's going on with my damn platform, but NASDAQ's hanging out. I have to go figure this one out. I've already deleted all these watch lists, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. You know, normal stuff. Tesla's still falling? Yeah. Wow. 24. So 2 days of heavy selling right there. Definitely had to cut that 250 level. I think we had 244 was the final kind of... there you go. Was that level right there. Sorry, guys. I woke up like 8 minutes ago. So, yeah, definitely below that. I mean, best case scenario, we do something like this. But I don't know, man. I don't know with Tesla. My wife still has it. Haven't told her to sell it yet. She's a long-term holder, so. I don't know how many times I can do this. Hot stock page. Buy the dip. Yeah, it could be. Definitely could be. All right, so now I got to rebuild my actionable list. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Um, let's create a new watch list. I think I've done this like twice before. Horrible, horrible software. So we had, well, Hexo. I know Rob was reminding us of that, so that's good. We had Netflix, Nvidia, we had Acacia, CRISPR. Put Disney up there. I'm not sure if we had it, but we'll put it up there. Disney up there. We'll put Tesla on there. You don't. It's not really actionable, kind of, but we'll put it up there. What else is up there? GDSU doesn't exist anymore, huh? Thank you, Rob. Workday. There you go. Match, SC, AMRN, GPK. Probably pull up my own account. Which one did I skip? Match. That gets us started. All right, global. Oh no, global. Okay, there's global watch list. All right, global watch list. OG. Okay, OG RMF. All right, Adobe. All-time highs for Adobe. Buy this. It's almost extended. Up 4.12%. No breakout volume though. Darn it. No breakout volume. Maybe today. That volume this morning is pretty good. Friday, not so much here, but today is pretty good volume. I don't think there's earnings today. Post-it notes? Nice, Rob. It's like Morgan Stanley rating it overweight. Which, yes, overweight in the United States is a good thing, apparently. Wow, Microsoft 76% sales growth. That's ridiculous. But Adobe here doing good things. I'm not sure if Adobe... Look at that run, man. That's beautiful. And just a massive base. Only 26% deep during the bear market there. That's pretty cool. All right, my brain's not working. Whoops. Is that right? 290? 348. That sounds more like it. Let's see if there's a trade there. I don't even know if I have any cash. Trade desk doing good, 3% today. Hexo, CRISPR, SE, Nvidia not doing so hot. Fortinet, how did I forget about that? .72%. All right, getting on with it. Nothing amazing. Trade desk already in a new highs. We noted this one kind of trying to work its way out. That one working. And there's Hexo into new highs again. Oh, can't forget Winnebago. What's their symbol? WBG? That's not right. WGO. There you go. Oh, it's 0.71%. Looking good. We had DocU. Come on, Winnebago. There we go. Winnebago looking nice. That one down day, that was about it. It came back up very quickly. Love it. Such a good chart. Let's check our DocU today. Trying to come back. A little bit of distribution up here. Netflix not really interested in much today. A little bit of selling this morning. Well, Amazon's rising because it's a bull market and it's Amazon. Some stocks just kind of gradually go up. Amazon's one of them. Well, kind of what happens is when you get these really big companies like this, a lot of times the market kind of knows what's going on anyways. So they can be priced in. And then as long as no one decides to sell them in mass, then they kind of do that. They kind of float up. Because institutions, when they're looking to take positions, it takes them weeks, sometimes months. We took off. We didn't have a snap up there. We had AEYE for a minute. Hasn't really done much for us, but it was up here. We have 5. Why is my... Yeah, there's 5. 5 working. CPG? Did we have that up there? We used to have CHK up here, but we took that off. Took that off a while ago. Although it looks like it is coming to a trend line. Oh, it's already broken the trend line. Never mind. I'm not sure we ever had Snap on the actionable list. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you already mentioned that there. Okay. All right, Nasdaq holding up pretty decent. I think ES is an all-time highs too. Yep, ES printed an all-time high. Dow Jones not quite at an all-time high. Russell 2000 still has a long way to go, which is interesting. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's decent, but oh yeah, I think we'd have Riot up there. Yeah, down today, Bitcoin took her on the chin this morning, it looks like. All right, so OGRMF kind of leading us up here today. Let's take a look at that one. We'll go back. We'll go through the top ones here. Gap up this morning, decent volume, probably a news article or something. Cannabis companies seek to nurture growth in new regions. Organograms, Angel looks forward to Cannabis 2.0. Oh, is that a thing? Cannabis 2.0 now? Whatever that is. Okay, Adobe. Noted that one in all-time highs. Breaking out in volume. And my options thing came up and I forgot what my calculator said. So 280, 56 minus 20 is 336. And there's some decent gains on that one for 336. Not bad at all. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Although, what would 336 look like? Look like that. And that almost matches if it holds that trajectory. That puts us out at August 12th. Which means I have to go out another strike price. Not bad. And like I said, Adobe with volume today. So give that a little bit of time there. All right, Trade Desk looks like it popped a little higher, pulled back a little bit. Hexo selling off some. CRISPR, Tesla. Little bounce back here on the 5-minute. See how that does. Hasn't broken down that much, which is good, considering it broke that 250 level pretty good. Fortinet printing lows of the day. Workday, so far holding up pretty good up there. Match.com, pretty tight up here in highs. GPK, pretty tight up here also. Above the gap, that's nice. Match.com at highs. Acacia, trying to get towards recent highs. Disney finally with a red day. I think everyone knows about Disney now, so they're taking some profits. They do have earnings coming up on 5/8. That's about a week out. We noted Acacia, Nvidia, gap down Friday. So far, not interested in coming back. Netflix still going sideways, consolidating that after earnings. We'll see what this thing does. Not a lot, it looks like. And then Riot. All right, let's go top down here. Adobe, SIVB, maybe trying to break out of a recent pattern. I'm not sure if that would be considered a double bottom. It looks like it could be. So there's one. Let's look at it on the weekly. Although, also looks like an inverted head and shoulders. Oh, this is the one we had the inverted head and shoulders on, isn't it? And trying to break out of that, volume, not so great. Out of the inverted head and shoulders. I think we had a... no, I didn't save one on SIVB. And it looks like going from 180 to 260, 70 bucks. From 250 to 70 is 320. Puts us back up there. Looks like it's a proper volume signature. Downward sloping there. Not super mad at SIVB going to 320. That's not a bad one. May not quite get there. May stop at 300. I don't know. SE into highs. Let's see. Is that a question or statement? It is in highs. Pulling back a little bit. I don't think volume's that. Was that our opening candle volume? Okay, that's our opening candle volume. Yeah, I mean, I would like a little more volume than what it's got so far. I mean, and it's not running on you at the moment, so I think you can just keep an eye on it for right now. Overall, I do like the chart though. I don't recall exactly what this. Let me go check out the fundamentals. Oh, C Limited ADS. This is the shipping company. 74 composite rating. Relative strength is 99. Nasdaq reverses higher small cap leads. This was put out on Friday by IBD. Looks like SE is in this one. 1 distribution in the Nasdaq, 5 on the S&P. And they didn't mention much about SE except for it was up 11% for the week. Internet platform provider Sea Limited. What? They're an internet platform provider? I thought they were a shipping company. Singapore-based company develops an internet platform consisting of digital entertainment and e-commerce. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was completely wrong about what they did. $127 sales last quarter. Three-year sales growth rate 36%. So it looks like they're accelerating sales, which is probably what people are liking here. 8.6 billion market cap for SE. Very interesting. Negative 57% EPS change. Negative 113% pre-tax margin. So they're kind of, yeah, it's okay, but it's not, great. Hexo, looks like it's coming back. All right, trying to break out of that cup and handle pattern. My minuscule trade rocking right now. Trade desk looks like it's not selling off, just solidly sitting there in highs. That's good. DocU getting with it. Go DocU. Go, 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 go. Just to come back. A little bull flag on the 5-minute. Hopefully that does something. Yeah, I really didn't want to see any prints under this 244. At least it's not crashing though. So actually back here when I bought Tesla over here at 150 when it was way down here. Maybe Eli's maybe Eli's right. Maybe we do get a print. Maybe lower than this even. If you remember this undercut support here went down another 21%. Let's call it 20%. Let's say history repeats itself. What's 20% from here? 200? About 200, give or take, yeah. 193. Maybe we get down. So this one got to 250 or 150. Undercut 150. Maybe this will undercut 200 before bouncing back. I don't remember what was happening over here at the time. But it looks very similar from a charting perspective. You got basically 2 low areas, 3 low areas and undercuts. And this one bounced right back into highs before testing the same level again before going into new highs. I mean, it was a long haul. It took it from February all the way to the next April. So a year and 3 months, a year and 2 months to get into highs from that low area. So we got a time, quite a while till Tesla's potentially at highs, but yeah, maybe that's the thing. I think the difference is to look at the lack of volume. There was lots of volume over here on the run up, tons of volume here on the run up, and then they paused. Unfortunately, over here we have lots of heavy volume at a top area, which indicates distribution. So that is a key difference here with Tesla. But yeah, one can hope maybe a run to 200 would shake out a ton of people, and then a breakout from 200 would be pretty good. But that's pretty scary. That's going to be a scary time. All right, Disney pulling back a little bit here today, pulling back a little bit more. Hopefully we get a little more of a pullback and maybe give us an alternative entry on Disney. Fortinet, choppy up here. Don't like the chop. Not a huge fan of the chop. Other than that, I'm not quite sure what's moving or breaking out. I didn't really see much. We saw yeah, Adobe here, just comfortable. Yeah, add Adobe down here. Adobe would be a good name to buy if you guys are looking for a purchase. It's just a rock solid company. They don't quite have a monopoly on their industry, but it's pretty damn close. And you can just see the uptrends that it basically maintains here. They do have a couple washouts every once in a while, but it comes back very, very quickly. And we haven't had a large base in quite a long time for Adobe. Last time it broke out here, didn't get very far before rolling over again. And then it started a pretty epic run from this, was that 44? 45? Yeah, from the 44 level. And then once it finally definitively broke it, it started kind of a pretty good run. And accelerating here into 2017, 2018. And again over here into 2019, looks like this run is about the same slope as these ones. Adobe, I don't know the volume. The volume's pretty good. It doesn't have to. Some of these are called breakaway gaps. This one isn't like a true breakaway gap though. It's only like a couple percent, 1.3%. So it's not really that great in terms of a breakaway gap. And in terms of it being buyable, you can buy within 5% of the buy point, and the buy point's like right there, and you're 3.65% away from the buy point. So it's not really gone by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely still buyable. Maybe watch it a little bit because we do have it is starting to pull back a little bit, but you can see all morning this morning it's been pretty healthy. We may not get a deep pullback in this. I mean, Adobe is a pretty solid company, man. I mean, I even pay them $57, $55 a month to use their photo and video editing services. Everybody does. Everybody uses their services. It's just like I said, they basically have a monopoly. So, but yeah, if it does pull back, I would use that as a potential buying opportunity. If it's after today, so let's look at today. Look at the volume today. Pretty good. Volume's already 3/4 of average, and we're 30 minutes into the session. So should be a good average. Should be a good volume day. Should be a good breakout day, I should say, for Adobe. So use any pullback as an opportunity to buy if you're looking to buy. Adobe, very good company. Fortinet's a good company as well. But here's one of the things: breakouts aren't necessarily super rocking right now. Like Fortinet here, out of a larger cup and handle base, not really moving a tremendous amount out of the base here. Looks like today we're pulling back as well. So volume's also declining as we come into earnings. Shit, 5.2. Damn it. Hate earnings. I hate earnings. They screw up your trades all the time. But there's other ones that are working, these smaller ones, like Workday looks like it's continuing. A little choppy here right now, but nothing too bad. We know Disney kind of breaking out. This breakout's working. Obviously, that one's working. Hexo breakout doing okay. Hopefully we end up the day up, 4 or 5% on Hexo, continuing a nice little bullish trend here. That volume yesterday or Friday was spectacular. And, just a peak close. It was like half a cent or something like that off of the high of the day. It's just like the very end here, this little wick. That was it. That was it. That was the only pullback that it had from the top. So very bullish day. Hopefully we can move higher out of this. As long as if this can close above the low of the day here, that would be really good. Maintain the gap. That would be super good. Adobe Trade Desk also. Oh, yeah, there we go. Trade Desk getting new highs. I was going to say, I thought they were in new highs. Trade Desk getting recent highs here. Also earnings coming up in a little bit, about a week. But some of these with these smaller setups seem to be working a little bit better. Winnebago not in highs, but still working out really well. I don't know what else is at new highs. Match.com, just sitting at new highs. It's not getting very aggressive, but it's just sitting there. 5 also in new highs, just kind of just going up. A little bit of a pause here. That could be another little entry point over this 147.43 level. Let's call it 147.50. We had O'Reilly up here for a while, but then it had a little gap down. This one was sustaining, and then I'm not sure what happened there. It missed by 3 cents. That was probably not the full story why it broke down, but auto stocks down. For once, it's not about Amazon. It says the company is known for making fairly conservative forecasts, so maybe some of this is overblown in terms of this dip. Anyway, Fortinet in the negative now. Hexo pulled in a little bit. Nvidia, Riot, Netflix, GPK hasn't broken that 14 level yet. Didn't do it at all yesterday. It was a decent day. Decent day now. As long as it's within this consolidation range, it's fine for potentially breaking out of that. But so far the Nasdaq. Oh, Nasdaq went negative. Okay. Nothing crazy. All right, Adobe, we got Square, still not running. SIVB out of that inverted head and shoulders pattern. Casa. It's like a little bit of a flag or pennant on the 5-minute chart there. Coming out of a low. No major volume to speak of. Hard to get a good beat on what's going on right there with Casa, but NIO, iRobot, no thank you. LAD rocking it into recent highs here. Look at that. That's LAD. Protolab, Yandex, RealPage, NOAA, LPLA. 5N. That's an interesting little setup here. So down about 17.8%. A little deep. Could consider this a double bottom right there. There's your bottom. There's your top of your W. Middle point of your W. There's your second low. And so that would make this your buy point. Way up here. Does have earnings coming up pretty soon, it looks like. 5/1, so that would be day after tomorrow? Yeah, Wednesday. That's after. Yep, day after tomorrow, after market. So I have that trend line in place. We're breaking these highs right here, though. This one's not looking too bad. A little difficult, though, to buy a couple days before earnings, but I guarantee it's going to gap up because I'm not going to buy it. I already mentioning Coop. Yeah, Coop at all-time highs there. Looks like it's still buyable. Breakout volume was not quite 40%, only up 3%, so it's still within range. Looks like Adobe stopped going lower right there. Where's this Adobe trade? What do we say, 336 on this thing? Yeah, 336. Man, this thing is not moving today. It's pretty good. It's lack of selling. Adobe does like its pullback, so it looks like it pulls back like once a month, just with a decent deep pullback. It pulls back 8 or 9% just all the time, it looks like. And here the pullbacks are getting smaller. And then we get a breakout. Last time it broke out decently. Looks like it went sideways for a while, so this isn't like a traditional stock, not really. Lots of consolidations and pullbacks. Go wait on this one for a little bit. Tesla looks like it's coming back out, 240. We'll see if that 244 acts as a ceiling or not. We're going to get up to here pretty quick. Some decent volume here. So 45 minutes in, we're already over half of average volume. And we got to 22 million shares. Dang, 22 million shares in Tesla. And today we're at 5, so already a quarter, almost a quarter. Usually how things go, we don't quite get back up to, we don't quite breach these very, very large candles. It's rare you'll see one after the other that's double over average volume and higher than the previous day like this. That's pretty rare. So I doubt this green one will be up here. I'm not sure I'm going to jump in front of that one. GPK, CRISPR, Netflix, Disney. All right, continuing the pullback. Good. All right, what else is up here? OGRMF, SIVB. There we go. SIVB. Going for high of the day, it looks like. NASDAQ back to positive. Yeah, if we can break out of this, that would be pretty good. What do you say, 320? Wow. Oh. Gotta change stocks. There we go. Yeah, that's not very good. That was not very good either. SIVB. All right, Winnebago. Little consolidation. Maybe a chance to take a. We'll see how the week goes here, but I doubt we're going to get a 3 weeks tight out of this. We could, as long as it doesn't go higher. Could get a 3 weeks tight add-on point here in Winnebago. But I don't know if it's going to pause for the week here. So far, it's looking like it wants to jump across this $37 level. If it doesn't do that, if we get a nice 3 weeks tight pattern here, I'm buying that thing. AEmatch.com also chilling at highs. Docu. Oh, pulling back a little bit. This one was making highs. And pulled back on. There's decent volume right there. FIVN looking good. Let's see if we're gonna. Oh yeah, they have earnings way too soon. Damn it, can't do that one. Facebook, how you doing after your gap, Facebook? So gapped up. So we came back into the gap a little bit. Technically, it's buyable here via a gap rule and potential 6%. Well, actually, not from there. 4.8. Oh, 2.5%. That's not very good. All right, just gonna keep dropping here for a minute until I see something really interesting. Wow, look at EPAM. That's a big run up. Cyber. No base there. That's just all movement. THO kind of looks like a cup and handle. RXN inverted head and shoulders there too. Looks like that one broke out a week or two ago. VIAV. That's interesting. Earnings coming up. There's a little cup and handle. Looks like okay. We're still under this high about 25 or so. And then, yeah, it's so far nice cup base. Earnings on 5.2, so that's too close, but that's a nice little base on VIAV. Let me pull it up on the stock checker. Looky there, 99 composite rating. Makes test measurement instruments for telecom cable service providers and network equipment manufacturers. 120% EPS change last quarter. 2 quarters of EPS acceleration. 3 years EPS growth rate 21%, which they have as red. So not good there. Sales change 49%. Pre-tax margin 14%. ROE 14%. Both of those are red. $3 billion, B plus accumulation distribution, 1.4 up down volume, 5 quarters of increasing fund ownership, and 2% change in funds owning stock. Viva Solution enters buy zone with earnings due, is what IBD says. They have them breaking out from 13? Oh, wow. Now this is a first stage cup and handle with this as your buy point. Oh, because it's your first red week, that's why. Okay. So it's still buyable, 1.88%. Unfortunately, earnings are in like 2 or 3 days. But yeah, let's add this to our action list. This is pretty nice. Cup and handle. 99 composite rated stock. That's pretty good. So Acacia, Sienna are in this industry group. We have Acacia up here, I believe. Yeah, we have Acacia there. So this would be in the same industry group as Acacia. When's Acacia report? Also 5-2, of course. Thanks, Acacia. Douchebag. All right, Hexo, actually with a nice little triangle thingy here. We'll see which way prevails. Trade Desk 3%, looking pretty good. Adobe, yeah, pulled up a little bit. Tesla. Pulled back a little bit. I like that VIAV though. That's nice. I knew something made me take a second look at that. Workday broken all-time highs Friday, and then we're kind of moving out of there. SNCR, Trimble, Pi. Newer with a pretty big pattern here. Could be a cup and handle. Could be a huge cup and handle. Could be a deep base, though, 39%. That's actually not too bad considering we went into a bear market. $92 composite rating. It's New Relic is the company. Develops software that enables enterprises to collect, store, and analyze amounts of data in real time. 280% EPS change last quarter. I think it's because they were negative the current quarter, the quarter before maybe. No, they've been positive. Huh. Earnings accelerating there a little bit. You go from negative to positive in the beginning of 2018, 5, 9, 15, 20, 19. So they're probably looking, I hope they're looking for some accelerated earnings. This thing has been in a pretty big base. I like big bases, and I cannot lie. And hopefully, so there's your buy point there at about the 110 level. 5,900 EPS change for the current year. Something seems wrong about that. Sales percent change 35%. 6 billion market cap. B accumulation distribution 1.1 up down volume. Only 3% change in funds owning stock and 1 quarter of increasing fund ownership. That's interesting. 86% composite rating. Stock showing rising market leadership. New Relic earns 84 relative strength rating. Jumping into the 80 plus percentile. Stocks of 80 RS or higher when they begin their biggest climbs. They always point that out, which is good. 114.88 buy point. So, okay, they're going over all-time highs. They're not calling this a cup and handle then? It's a later stage pattern. Really? They're calling this a late stage pattern? Yeah, I still need clarification on that. Number 5 rank on computer software database industry. Splunk is the top rated one in the group. All right, but newer earnings coming up. We'll keep an eye on this one. Keep an eye on newer. Trade Desk taking the lead today, 3.74%. Hexo looks like it's curling up ever so slightly. We'll see if that keeps going. Adobe still fine at highs. Tesla hasn't sold off yet. Winnebago, Docu doing okay. Is FTR worth watching? I like new stocks. No, it's not. Next. It's good. There's a pretty quick answer to your question there, Steve. No, it's not worth watching. I know nothing about it. Is it Frontier Airlines? Frontier Communications. Okay. Yeah, stock that goes from 120 down to 2. Generally not worth watching. That's one of my rules I have written down over here in a post-it note. If a stock goes from 120 down to $2, I don't watch it. So kind of the one of the hallmarks about investing, at least for what I do. No, it's okay, Steve. I was just trying to be funny, but we'll use this as a teaching moment. All good moments are teaching moments. Now, let me start by prefacing that I don't know everything. I don't know what this thing's going to do in the next 2-3 years. The whole impetus behind my investing style, which is momentum-based, is you want to find stocks that institutional investors, which really control the markets, want. And Trade Desk is a good example of that. Marching towards highs, so this has an upward trend to it. FTR does not have an upward trend to it. Has a very long extended downtrend. There's a little bit of a mystique, or maybe a romantic idea about buying stocks near lows. Going from 2 back to 120 sounds fantastic. And if I thought there was any chance of that getting back up to 120, I would probably be buying it right along with you. Unfortunately, when stocks are selling off like this, that's generally institutions showing you that they don't want the stock. And since institutions really run the market and they're not supporting a stock, it means that there's no reason to hold it. There's no reason to buy it. Another reason why this can be dangerous is, well, number one, there's probably a pretty extreme reason why it dropped 99%. I don't even have to run the numbers. I can just tell you it's not like probably about 98, 99%. Is that when you buy a stock at lows like this, and it doesn't even have to fall this far, it doesn't have to fall 99%. It can fall 50%. It can fall, anything over a 33% drop is usually a pretty bearish signal. So unless you're in a bear market, if the market's in a bear market and you drop over 30, maybe like up to 50, 60%, and the market's dropping 20, 30% like we just came out of, it's not necessarily the end of the world, because stocks can drop more than up to 1.5% of their parent index and be just fine. An individual stock can do that. My whole point about dropping down and buying lower, though, is you have no way of knowing how long it's going to stay low. You could buy this thing. Maybe this thing comes back to 120. Maybe it takes 20 years, though. Is that worth it? Maybe if it goes back to 120 from 268 to 120 could be worth it, but odds are it won't do that. I'll take a 4,000% gain over 20 years. That's not horrible, but you can't guarantee it's going to do that, to be quite honest with you. So anytime a stock is beaten down this far, you don't know something. You know what I mean? So I'd much rather buy something on a deeper pullback. Like even Square is a decent example of something that hasn't come back to highs recently, but still kind of has an upward trajectory to it. and has pulled back into a base, you know, I would much rather take a risk on a stock like this than a stock sitting at all-time lows. All-time highs trump all-time lows by a long shot, here. So upward trending, potentially out of a base of some kind, like Adobe here just broke out of a base. We've been talking about this one in a huge uptrend, multi-year uptrend. Monopoly in its field. You know, you have an expectation of a return here. You don't have one with FTR like that. Does that make sense? I do try to have some fun every once in a while. Sometimes it's someone else's expense. Sorry about that. Rolling over USB cables like mad over here. But I, do try to use them as teachable moments as well. Hexo and TTD fighting it out for the top spot today. Hexo pulling back a little bit. It's like the market's settling in. We're a little positive on the Nasdaq. Yeah, no problem, Steve. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a dick. I am actually trying to help. Where's my... Google into earnings. So earnings are always hard. Oops. Earnings are always difficult. So the reason being is because you never know. There's a couple things with earnings. Number one, you don't know what the earnings are going to be. So that's a negative. Number two negative is that you don't know how the institutions are going to react to those earnings that you don't know what they're going to be. So you got kind of like two negatives in there with earnings. If you're thinking of taking a position right before earnings for a gamble for that it goes up or goes down, that's one thing. The answer to that is pretty much usually no. Sometimes if you've been in the market a while and you kind of feel like the stock is setting up, it's an insane volume. There's really no way it can miss. The economy's hitting. There's certain circumstances where some people will hold into earnings and be rewarded. While you don't know what earnings are going to be, maybe it's a situation where you see a lot of accumulation in the volume or something of that nature. It's a newer issue, and you have the expectation that it's going to go higher. With something like Google that's pretty well established, looks like it's sitting at a high. This could gap up out of this what looks to be a cut base. Could just gap up through that, which would be fine. It could also do the opposite. It could also gap lower if things are a little bit off. But it is Google. I think people probably generally know what's going on. Anyway, if you're thinking of taking a new position, just understand it's a gamble. If you have Google from lower prices and you don't want to sell arbitrarily due to earnings announcement, that's okay, as long as you understand the risk that you could break even on that trade. So that's the thing with earnings, is that new positions are generally, you should wait until after earnings, once you know how the market's going to respond and you have the information, then you can make a well-informed decision. But if you already have a position and you have padding, say, minimum 10%, then you can hold and probably at least not take a loss. That's what you want to avoid, is taking a loss. Honestly, Hexo winning the day over Trade Desk. Looks like they pulled back a little bit. Bit of a gap there now. Adobe looks like it's still trying to flag out. What's not working today? Disney pulling back. Continues to pull back a little bit. All right. Good volume there on the pullback. Hopefully we'll come back a little bit more. A couple more percent, hopefully. Netflix. Looks like just a little bit more chop here. We'll see if it'll come back. This one after earnings, did have some decent volume. Did start trending up, so nothing really wrong there. CRISPR, negative, but not too bad. Looks like this black space here is freaking me out. Okay, there we go. Pulling back on the day though, not really, nothing crazy. It's trying to get out of this base right here. So here's another one, Steve, in terms of this one's down a little bit, but not necessarily out. So you see it had a low here in this IPO back in 2016, and then it formed an IPO base here, then broke out and pulled back, but has a higher low. So, and it's also trying to break out of this price decline. So there's a difference between buying all-time lows and then trying to buy lower in a consolidation. And with CRISPR, that's what you would be trying to do here, because it's not at all-time lows. Hope you see the difference there. So I don't like the fact that it came down super deep. This one was really deep, 70% drop. So that's not a great one. CRISPR is actually very new technology, and I don't think CRISPR is the only company doing CRISPR technology, which is gene splicing. But bouncing off of lows there, a little consolidation. You can see it's been basing for a number of weeks now. So that's a bullish sign. Basing for a number of weeks right there. All right, match sitting at highs. And after this, guys, I'm going to get out of here. VIAV looking good. Fortinet bouncing off that 93 level, thank goodness. Hopefully that can maintain up there. Docu pulling back from recent highs. Workday still sitting in recent highs. AYE. Winnebago. 5. Look at that. Beautiful. On the charge, a nice little setup here over this 147.43 level. That could be another little entry point. This is getting pretty aggressive. Volume's not huge, but it's fairly steady. You can see here all these volumes are right around average. We don't have these gaps underneath. It's pretty solid up here, so I would probably assume 5 would be good for a little bit of a pop. Let me try to line up a trade on this for something. I don't know what, but it's the first pause we've had in ever since we kind of had this day here, 411. So first pause in like 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see if it continues with something like that. That's kind of pulled 155 out of my butt, and 5.65% out of that. With a pretty good risk reward on that one. So 5's looking pretty good right here. I like this on that little consolidation. Winnebago has also a nice little consolidation. We had a newer here today. Tesla looks like it's... There we go. Still consolidating, which is fine. TTD and... all right, Hexo curling up. Cool, guys. And with that, I'm bouncing. So, guys, have a good day. Stay safe out there. NASDAQ doing pretty good. Market's doing fine. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.